Hello, my beautiful people. It is Mama Fairy or Fairy. I'm a crystal Reiki master, a medium, a musician, and an artist. And today we're going to be talking about feminine ascension and the New Age patriarchy. Let's get into it. I'll try to make this video as short and sweet as I can because there's so much content that I want to create on the divine feminine. I thought I would carve out some time today to really talk about this topic because it's something that's deeply important to my heart, just as most of my videos are. So in my last video, I was talking a lot about the sacred feminine mysteries and womb awakening. I was talking a lot about divine feminine healing. This video can almost be seen as a part 2 of that video just because, again, there's so much content that I want to cover and I am barely just scratching the surface with these. Hence the reason why I created a whole album and an upcoming book talking about the divine feminine and the celestial womb, which, you know, you'll check out later. You guys will check it out because you love me. You love me, right? Yeah, I know you love me. And in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about feminine ascension, what feminine ascension is, what it entails, what it looks like, and we're going to be talking about how a lot of these feminine mystery teachings have actually been distorted and washed over within the New Age community. You know me, I always like to put disclaimers, but I've been studying the feminine and I've been working towards embodying the feminine for, a couple years now, but it's something that I'm always working towards, always growing, always learning what it means, always understanding. And at the end of the day, it just always goes back to understanding who I am, what my purpose is, and what is my most authentic expression. So upon my 6-7 years of being within a New Age community, something that I've witnessed is that the approach to ascension is mostly masculine. It is transcendental, it is out of the body, and it is mostly taught by men. This creates a distortion within the divine feminine energy because then the divine feminine does not have an example in which to follow. By beginning my spiritual awakening path and entering the New Age community, I always noticed that the approach to ascension was always this progressive, persistent energy. You had to do vision quests and do ayahuasca and sit with shamans and meditate for hours and hours and hours. Although again, that may be true for some people, as I deepened my relationship with the Divine Mother, I deepened my relationship with my body, with my womb, with my heart, and with my soul, I realized that the feminine vessel and the feminine energy actually doesn't thrive in those methods of ascension. Feminine energy is womb consciousness, and womb consciousness is a direct portal to experiencing God. The feminine is God in the flesh. I will keep saying this. And so the divine feminine energy does not actually have to create so much force and effort to experience a higher state of consciousness. In which to that I say that the New Age community and a lot of these methods of ascension that are talked about within the New Age is actually a perpetuation of the patriarchy. And so because the approach to ascension is what I believe patriarchal or more so masculine, then it is not actually suited for women or people who are connected to the divine feminine energy. When women or people who resonate with the divine feminine energy continue to approach ascension through a masculine lens, we are actually just distorting and harming our energy because we are not working in alignment with what is most natural to us. When feminine wisdom is unlocked, women will begin to heal much quicker and much faster on an emotional level, a mental level, a physical level, and a spiritual level. Because we live in a patriarchal world, women constantly have to adapt their energy into masculinity. Women, including myself, because I'm still learning, don't really know what their version of the divine feminine looks like. They only know a distorted version of the divine feminine in which the patriarchy has fed to them. So the patriarchy is then instilled within New Age spiritual communities and is perpetuated through this masculinated approach to ascension. A lot of the wisdom of the feminine has been purposefully hijacked and erased because malevolent forces did not want us to ascend. So if you look within the influences of the New Age, there is clearly a patriarchal hierarchy. Whereas the teachings of ascension is mostly talked about and taught by men. At least from my experience, it has been very rare for me to find a woman, and even less so a woman of color, who is talking and teaching about reaching God consciousness, but through a feminine perspective. When we think about the ascended masters within the New Age community, a lot of them tend to be men. Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Metatron, Yeshua, Buddha, Saint Germain. And although there is nothing wrong with this, I believe this is actually perpetuating the distortion of the feminine. When a woman or a person who aligns with the feminine energy does not find teachings that are in resonance with that frequency, it is going to take longer to connect with God consciousness. The New Age does not only follow a masculine approach to ascension, but I believe the New Age demonizes the feminine through demonizing the ego. The feminine is the flesh. The feminine is the body. The feminine is the human identity. The feminine are the emotions, the feelings, the sexuality, the creativity, the human expression. When the New Age demonizes the ego, when the New Age demonizes sex, when the New Age demonizes emotions, when the New Age demonizes the body, it is actually demonizing the feminine. You see this in a lot of New Age teachings, such as killing the ego and controlling your emotions, getting rid of sexual desires. This is not what the feminine path looks like. This is actually just further perpetuating hatred of the feminine and demonization and ostracization of the feminine. And it is actually just repeating the harm mass religions have been causing for thousands of years. The feminine energy is all about embracing the human experience. It is about embracing the body, embracing sexuality, embracing the emotions. Feminine ascension is about embracing our traumas, embracing our processes, embracing our stories. It is about embracing our egos, not about demonizing the ego. It is about working with all of these human aspects of ourselves and seeing it as a catalyst to further our awakening. The feminine approach to ascension is deeply rooted in the body. It is deeply rooted in the soma. Feminine energy grounds all the transcendental, out of the body, spiritual energy into the body, into the flesh, into the human experience, so that it can be physicalized on earth. The feminine energy is alchemy. The feminine energy is the birthing process of life itself. The feminine energy is what makes the etheric physical. The feminine energy is what actualizes potential. And so when we ignore the feminine energy, when we participate in the distortion of the feminine energy, when we demonize the ego, when we demonize the mind, when we demonize the human experience, we are actually just participating in our own dissociation. We are participating in spiritual illusion. We are participating in the dissonance of our souls. The feminine energy is needed within the path of spiritual awakening. If we do not ground within the soma, if we do not trust in the intelligence of the soma, we will forever remain dissociated from our experiences and unable to ground down our gifts and complete our mission on this planet. I believe that the feminine is a portal to achieving not a higher state of consciousness, but a deeper, more embodied state of consciousness. Divine feminine ascension is when you are so rooted and so embodied within your human identity, while also deeply connected to source consciousness, that you experience unity in the flesh. You experience God in the flesh. And this is why I say the feminine ascension is actually a feminine ascension. This is why I say the feminine is God in the flesh. We as women do not have to go through such extreme length to achieve a higher state of consciousness. We achieve it every time we bleed. Every time we bleed, we are uniting with the divine, ecstatic energy of creation. We are moving through and with that energy, and we are embodying it within our flesh, deeper within our DNA. We are becoming one with all things. When we reclaim this wisdom, we can remember that we are what we have been searching for. Feminine ascension is reconnecting with the womb, reconnecting with all the cycles of the womb, the luteal, the ovulation, the follicular, the menstrual phase. It is reconnecting with the cycles and the phases of the earth. It is realigning, recognizing that the phases of the earth, the moon, and the womb are one and the same. It is recognizing that we are inherent parts of nature. because we are nature. Women are nature. The divine feminine is nature. We are so intuitively connected with the natural laws of creation that we don't have to do or say or go anywhere. We just are. We are the source of creation. We are the portal in which all things are birthed from and in which all things must return to. African indigenous tribes, the men would go out on vision quests, but the woman would just retreat within her womb and achieve the same state of consciousness as the man was when he was on his vision quest or vision fast. And so as women, all we have to do is trust in the wisdom of our bodies. And that is hard. In a colonial, capitalistic, patriarchal world, it is hard to trust in the body when we live in a world that teaches us how to dissociate from it. It is hard to trust in our wombs when we live in a world that is constantly attacking our wombs. And so women and the collective feminine consciousness in general lives in a state of dissociation and disconnection from the body. But when we are in disconnection from the body, we are constantly in fight or flight. And when we are in fight or flight, we are not accessing our gifts and we are not embodying who we are. We are not achieving what we are meant to do on this planet. The feminine is about ancestral healing. It is about understanding that our ancestors live within our bodies, our flesh, and our bones, their pain and their medicine. It's about honoring the ancestors, honoring the mothers and the grandmothers and the great-grandmothers. The body in the womb holds codes and information that is necessary for us to achieve a higher state of consciousness. Ancestral trauma is held within the soma, or held within our wombs. Intergenerational trauma is held within the soma. Patriarchal trauma, colonial trauma, capitalistic trauma, all of these distortions, stagnancies, and traumas are held within our wombs, within our bodies, within our DNA. We are able to access our bodies, access the intelligence and the wisdom of our bodies. We are able to unlock these traumas, begin the process of healing them. And through that process of healing, we are able to then extract the medicine and offer it to the world. And so the feminine energy and feminine wisdom is deeply about acknowledging and recognizing the pain that is stored within the body, stored within the womb, and alchemizing it into medicine. And so feminine ascension is the returning to the body. It is the returning to the soma. The New Age believes that if we are caught up or overtaken by emotions, we are not masters of our realities yet. But feminine wisdom says, learn from the emotions, listen to the emotions, feel the emotions, and once you fully feel the emotions, the wisdom will reveal itself. The feminine says there is wisdom within every experience. There is wisdom within every trauma. There is wisdom within every emotion. The feminine understands that everything that is earthly is also divine. The feminine understands that everything that is human is also divine. The feminine goes deep within the subconscious and it extracts the medicine. The feminine is deep-rooted healing. The feminine is healing that you can feel. The feminine is not only something that you can understand with the mind, but you feel it in your body. Feminine wisdom is an energy to be surrendered to. It is the original archetypal force of all creation. Feminine energy understands that everything that is human can act as a catalyst to a deeper state of spiritual embodiment. Feminine wisdom wants you to be as human as you can. The feminine energy wants you to embrace your humanness. The feminine energy is all about trusting in the process of your emotions and recognizing that your darkness is just potential light in process. Without feminine wisdom within the New Age community, the people turn into spiritual narcissists, people with spiritual egos. When the feminine is ostracized and demonized within spiritual communities, there is dissociation. There is disconnection from the human experience. There is spiritual narcissism, spiritual materialism. There is lack of true empathy, true communication, true connection with one another. Everyone is trying so hard to ascend, but no one knows how to be a good person. This is the result of the feminine being exiled within spiritual communities. when we reclaim the feminine, when we reclaim the human, when we reclaim our emotions and our egos and our demons and our shadows and alchemize it, we are able to experience a sort of spiritual equilibrium, balance, and embodiment. If you got this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm going to be releasing content every week, every couple weeks, every month, wherever the flow is. If you're interested in more content about divine feminine energy, here's my album, Goddess of Creation, dedicated to divine feminine energy awakening. Here is my Moonstone lyric video. Here's my Goddess of Creation lyric video. And here is the last video that I created. Let me know what you've been feeling, what you've been thinking down below in the description box. And I hope you all have a beautiful, divine day of alignment, deep receptivity, and surrender. Ashe.